Hi, everybody. I see you're all here lined up early, so I thought I would come on early. Welcome. So, just a little introduction. Not that I think I probably need one with you all, but um, so I read Lenormand. I do have my own deck here, and that's mostly 99% what I use. But I read tarot as well. For those of you who don't know, if you are over on Substack, you already know that I read tarot because I use it every week with what I write. But I have a deck here. It's the Starlight Gold Edition. And so I may pull a tarot card depending on the question. I would pull a tarot card and then maybe three clarifying cards. I am doing this once in a blue moon thing here on YouTube. After this episode, I probably won't do it again until I hit a big subscriber number. So if you know people whom you think would like what I do, pass the word, have them subscribe. That would be great. Because I like seeing that number grow. And I know that YouTube occasionally does a culling, like they get rid of bots or inactive accounts and things like that. So the number fluctuates, and I'd like to see the number rise. So if I hit a big number, I'll come back and do this again. Otherwise, as I mentioned in my last video, you can find me doing this every Sunday on Substack for paid subscribers. I've mentioned that the subscription for my Substack is $5. You don't have to subscribe, but if you want a reading, you do. $5 a month. So I will be over there tomorrow doing this again at, let's see, at what time? At 11 Pacific, which is 2 p.m. Eastern, over on Substack. I'll be doing the same thing for paid subscribers. I want to remind you all that I am not a doctor. I am not an attorney. I am not a financial advisor. So, think about the questions that you want to ask. If I think I can answer your question, of course I will. If I think that your question needs rephrasing, then I will try to do that so that the cards can give us an answer. If I think that it is just something inappropriate or just not suited to the cards, I'll skip it. So that's how we're going to roll. And I'm going to start at the top and work my way down. I will be here for an hour and the next 5 minutes. So I will be here till 6:05 Pacific time. Okay. And I have my water and my reading glasses on so I can see the feed. And I'm just going to work my way down. So the first one is from Musam E9G. And the question is, could I get a read for my career? What's coming? Okay. So I'm going to use Lenormand. The card for career is the moon. So I'm going to see. Now, normally when you see me on Facebook, I'll pull the lid down so that you can watch me pull. I can't do that here because the way everything is configured, I don't think you can see the whole panorama of the picture. So you'll just have to trust that these are the cards that I'm getting. So I'm just cutting the deck into 3, and then I'm going to look for the moon because that is the career card. And this is the first question on the list. So I'm going to start at the top and work my way down. If I skip you, it's because I don't think the question is answerable. Okay. So I've got the moon, and then I'm putting 2 cards in front of it and 2 cards after it. Okay, so I have the crossroads, the heart. Here's our card for career, the moon, star, and ship. So I like the stars. I feel like, I like the crossroads here. I feel like Crossroads means that you have a couple of things to choose from career-wise, more than one. So more than one thing that you actually love. So that's a nice thing. That's a perk. We have the moon in the middle. Now with the star and the ship, I want to say that the star is the card for hope. So that's good. And I can mirror it with the heart. So that does look good. But I will say that we have the ship here. And the ship means it's movement of all kinds. And I can mirror it with the crossroads. So to me, I'm feeling like you may have to change course and move for the kind of job that you want or travel in the job. The travel could be involved with the job. But I do see something coming. I think it's something that you will love. So that's coming in. Okay. But be prepared to travel, or be prepared to have travel be part of what you do for your job. L. Klein 4469 is asking if I see marriage for you in the very near future. I mean, shouldn't that be something that you know? Right? I mean, I don't know. All right, I'm going to use the card for that. It's the ring, as you can imagine. So, is marriage coming for you in the very near future? I mean, I would hope if it's in the very near future, you are already aware. And if you are already aware, and this is test the psychic, well, okay, whatever. If you're not aware, might want to reevaluate who this person is whom you're wondering about. But we'll look. Okay, so we have a man, we have the child card, we have the ring, we have the bouquet, and we have the coffin. Now, this could be the person you're hoping to be married to. I'm not sure. But with the coffin, you know, we all know what a coffin is. It's the thing that Mitch McConnell probably is in, but anyway, it doesn't always mean that. But however, it does tend to mean endings. And I think it's very interesting that the child card pops up, because one of the meanings for the child is naivete. I mean, I feel like the question, even the way you phrased it, implies that a little bit of naivete, that you're naive about how this thing works. Ideally, if you were going to get married in the near future, you would know. And so the fact that you're asking me makes me say, there's some naivete going on. For you, it would be like a reward. The bouquet is like a reward. Think of it as the wedding bouquet, right? And I think you have kind of an idealized view of what it means to be asked for your hand in marriage. I think you need to be a little bit more realistic. And with the coffin mirroring this man card, I think, I don't think that is necessarily what's on the other party's mind. So I'm sure that's not the answer you want, but that's the answer I see. Try to take the rose-colored glasses off in relationship to this other person. Not to say that you won't get married to them, but know who you're marrying. Okay. Okay, so this is a good teaching opportunity here. Jen Lily Rare Orchid, nice name. When do you see me becoming a tax auditor, and will it be a good fit? Now, I think I said this the last time I did a video, which is the fact that the when is never a question that the cards are good at estimating. There is an inexactitude when it comes to time. That's because, as I explained last time, you're asking me about the way you and I understand time. Time on the clock, time on the calendar, time on the watch. That's what you want to know. But where I'm getting the information from is from source, spirit. And spirit deals in the fullness of time. That's what my mother would call it, which means the past, the present, the future, and every other aspect of time that we are unacquainted with. So I mean, when do I see you'll become a tax auditor when you have done the work, the coursework that you need to do and pass the tests that you need to take. That's when. So I don't think when is a great question because you already know the timetable for that. The question is this career a good fit for you? Is this job a good fit for you? Now I'm going to use the Fox because the Fox is the job card, but also the Fox is the perfect card for a tax auditor, right? Who has to look closely at numbers. So we're going to use the Fox for that one, and I'll see what's around it for you. Now, someone is bound to say, oh, I really prefer it when you show all the cards while you're putting them down. I have just explained I can't do that because of the platform that I'm on. It won't show it. So, okay, here is the Fox. This will stand for your career as a tax auditor. Okay, now I actually kind of see why you ask the question because the first card is the snake. So we have the snake, the woman, the tax auditing career, the stork, and the ship. And the reason that I say that I can see why you asked the question is this has been a little bit of a rough road for you. Like you might be working another job and at the same time you have to study for this tax auditing whatever exam. So it's been a rough road. This has been problems. But the good news is those problems feel like they're in the past. Here's you. And then we have the Fox in the middle. Stork and ship are really good. Things will get easier. Things will get better. I do, in fact, think this will be a good fit for you. So hang in there to whatever degree it's been difficult. I think that will have proved to be worthwhile because I think it will be a good career for you. Yes. Okay. Okay, June Gem. Let's see. June Gem 4335 asked, a good friend of mine recently passed and I wasn't given any information from her mother. Can you give me some insight into what occurred? Maybe. I'm going to use the coffin for the death and see what I get. Okay, so I'm looking for the coffin. Okay. So we have the bear, we have, and we have the snake, we have the coffin in the middle, we have the sun, and we have the garden. I mean, I don't love these two cards. This is a very sort of aggressive energy. I mean, I don't know if it was a violent thing or whether like an aggressive illness, but this is the card for a problem, and this is the card for something aggressive. So whether it was violence or whether it was like an aggressive illness that took them quickly, I will tell you this much. We have the coffin in the middle. It will be made public. it will be made public. So I think you just have to wait a while. But these cards tell me this is the card for something being brought to light, and this is the public. So again, well, let me just, I'm going to pull. So I pulled clarifiers on this bear, and I got child, woman, ring. I don't know if it was some sort of domestic situation that went wrong. I don't know. But when I pulled on the snake, I got clouds, star, and house, which makes me feel like it happened at night. At night when no one was around. But again, that could still be illness. It doesn't have to be violence. The best thing I can say is that you will not be in the dark over what happened forever, because the news of how this person died will come to light, will be made public. So that's the best I can do on that. I'm sorry for your loss. DS, GC, BIX. Will the results of my dental procedure be positive for me? Again, I'm not a doctor, but I will look. The card that I'm going to use is the scythe. That's the card for, surgery, whether it's your appendix or your mouth. So let's look for the scythe and see how that procedure will go. Okay. So again, I'm cutting the deck into 3. Okay, so this is the card that I'm going to use for the dental procedure. Okay, we have garden, we have the moon, we have the scythe, we have crossroads, and we have dog. So I'm going to say that with the dog, I think you certainly can trust whoever's doing the procedure. And this might sound odd, but I think you will feel, our teeth are kind of visible, right? I think you're going to feel good about yourself. I think your self-image is going to improve with this dental procedure. So whatever it is, you will feel better about yourself. Now, I can mirror this moon card here with the crossroads. This feels like an elective procedure. Like, it's not like if you don't have this procedure, you're, I don't know, something awful will happen. No, it feels very much like an elective procedure and a cosmetic, maybe even in nature. And I think it will go very well. You will get the result that you are looking for. Okay. Just trying to shuffle the cards back in. And I'm going to just give them another little. Okay. Love Nature Oz. I start a new job in August. Will I thrive in this role? Okay, so we're going to look for the fox, because the fox is the job card. And how will you do in this? How will you like this job, this new job that you start next month? Okay. Just cutting into 3 and then looking for the fox. Okay, so this stands for the job. Okay. So we have mountain, we have letter, we have fox, we have birds, and we have the heart. So I'm going to say the first thing that came to me when I saw the mountain was that either, you waited a long time to get what you hope is the ideal job. And also, I just feel like saying, as with any new job, right? Anything you do that's new, bear in mind that there's always a learning curve, right? Whether it's the actual job itself or learning the culture of the place, there'll be a little bit of a learning curve. So be patient with yourself. The letter is the second card. I just feel like this is the job description, that kind of thing. Fox is in the middle. We have birds and heart. And I feel very much like you're going to love it after your initial, learning curve experience. I think you're going to love it. And I also think that you will like the other people who also do this job or who work in the vicinity because we have the heart there. So I think you'll find colleagues who will be helpful. I think you'll enjoy the role. I think it's going to be a good fit for you. Thank you for the little tip. Appreciate that. That was sweet. Okay. Let's see. Darlene is asking if I see her daughter getting better soon. Soon is relative, right? All right. I'm going to use the younger woman card just because she's younger than you. She's your daughter. And we'll see whether she gets better, whatever that means for you. Okay, so I'm looking for the young woman. Okay, so we have the anchor, we have the rider, we have your daughter, we have the stork, and we have the fox. I really like these cards. I will say that she has been unwell, again, whatever that means, for a while and been sort of brought low by that. But I love the rider. The rider is like news coming in. She, of course, is in the center, but the cards that I'm liking are the stork and the fox. The stork is the card for improvement. So yes, she will get better. And I think that it will be thanks to a specialist or specialists who figure out what's going on, because that's what the fox is. So yes, she will get better soon. Yes, or else that stork card wouldn't have been there. Okay, Barkley Todd QTLOX asks this. My 86-year-old aunt says she wants to sell her house, and move to a high-end senior facility, but hasn't made any progress. What are the cards? What do the cards show that's blocking her progress? Well, listen, you don't have to be a card reader to know what I'm about to tell you. She's 86 years old. What do you expect? Is anybody helping her with this? Maybe she needs your help doing it. She's 86. She's 4 years from 90. But I'm going to look. What I'm going to do is I think I'll use the ship, because the ship will indicate a move. And we're going to know, we want to ask what's holding it up. I just feel like people are thinking that she's going to, pack up the truck herself. She needs help with this. Come on. All right, let's look. So we're going to look for the ship. fact that she's saying that she wants to do this, it feels to me like she's trying to send a message, which is none too subtle, which is, this is what I want to do, but I'm 86. I need help doing it. All right, let me find this ship, because that's just me talking. That's not the cards. Okay. All right, so this is her move to a high-end senior care facility. So we have the whip, we have the sun, we have the move with the ship, we have the heart, and we have the bear. Okay. Now, the whip. What's interesting to me is that the whip mirrors the bear. I don't love that. So this is the card for discipline, for getting things together, getting it in, getting things in order. Like a whip, cracking the whip. It feels it's not necessarily pleasant. It's only pleasant if you're doing stuff that you want to do. Like if you're an athlete and you have to show up on the field or on the track or at the gym because you want to be in the Olympics, right? Or if you're a writer and you have to glue yourself to your laptop so you can get it done, that would be this card. But we're talking about dismantling a house. I mean, that's a lot of work, is what the whip feels like to me. And I also think it's a lot, pardon the pun, but it's the amount of work involved is overbearing. Get it? Overbearing. I do think this is absolutely something that she wants to do, 100%. But she needs help. I mean, if you don't want to do it, there are people who do this kind of thing for a living. She's 86. She needs help. Okay. But she does want to do it. It's just too much. I mean, I'm nowhere near 86, but I can't even imagine. And I did move cross country. And again, I was in my 60s when I did it. Oh, okay. All right. Modern Muse 713. I've reached a critical state financially and I need a part-time job. I've sent several applications. Ageism is real, even if I don't look my age. Will I get a job in August? Thank you. Okay. So, part-time job. I'm just intending that the cards show us a part-time job. You're not looking for like a career change or anything like that. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just make it very clear to the cards. I'm going to use the crossroads because the crossroads is the card for me for a part-time job. So we'll look and see. Will you get a part-time job in August? Okay, so we're going to look for the crossroads. That will stand for part-time work. Okay, popped right up. Okay, so we have clouds, book, crossroads, ring, and scales. So here's what I see. I get that this has been really frustrating for you. Clouds means you really actually are not too clear on how to go about this the right way. I get that you sent several applications. I get that, but I just feel that the way that you're going about it is kind of haphazard and kind of unclear. Now, we have the crossroads in the middle. We have the ring and the scales at the end. Now, the ring is a job, a contract, right? And then scales is my sort of cost-benefit analysis card. I think, I don't know whether you're just like walking down the street and seeing a help wanted sign and going in and then filling an application, because that's one way of doing it. But there are other ways. Like, I don't know if you've used, for example, online job boards and things like that. That's a more efficient way of doing it. Talking to a job coach, something like that. Because I just feel that the way you're doing it is sort of willy-nilly, like wandering the streets till you find a store or some business with a sign in the window. That's not how things are done these days. So I think you need to be more intentional about it, more focused. And I'm feeling, looking at some of the companies that are kind of like virtual job boards would be a better way to find something. And I think if you go that way, you will find something. Yes, in August. Okay, Deborah Price. Will my ex and I get back together, or is it a lost cause? Deborah, I'm just going to say this because I am a mother. So I'm just going to say this the way a mother would say. They're an ex for a reason. But who am I? Let's see. I'm trying to decide well, you know what? I'm going to let Spirit take the wheel, and I'm not going to look for a focus card. Okay. Will you and your ex get back together? So we have the whip, the tree, the ship, the snake, and birds. Look, that's why I said what I said. They're an X for a reason. There were a lot of arguments over a long period of time. Feels like this is a very toxic situation, from which you both would be well served to move on from. Because when we look into what's coming in, if you get together, nothing but trouble. And I am sure that this is something that you have, what I said about they're an ex for a reason, I am sure other people have said this to you as well. Let sleeping dogs lie. Thank this person in your head. Bless them. Learn the lessons of that relationship and move on, because if you do get back together, it'll be, like a rerun of what the experience was the last time. Okay. All right. This is Circles Theatrical Production. I'm a writer, and a very prestigious theater company and one production company are looking at 3 projects of mine. Will they be commissioned? Well, I mean, I'm not going to, well, we'll see. I mean, that's several questions because you have 3 projects. So I'm not even going to look at that. I'm going to ask, will anybody pick up your work? Will any of your projects be commissioned? Okay. Now, the card I'm going to use, I am going to use a focus card for this one, and it's the bouquet, because you are in the arts, and that is the card for the arts. So I'm going to look for the bouquet and see whether it looks like anything will be picked up. Okay, so this stands for all of the projects. We have the snake, we have the fish, we have the bouquet, we have the young woman, and then we have the older woman, which is interesting. I'm going to say this. The problem, of course, is that there are a lot of creatives out there in the world, right? It's like YouTube channels. There's a million. There's a million. And whether your channel does well or not, you're in a very crowded marketplace. So the same thing can be said about your field as well. This is sort of a lot of fish in the sea. Oh, sorry, this is a lot of fish in the sea, which makes things problematic. In other words, there are a lot of people vying for those spots. Now, hold on. And then I want to pull one more. Yeah, so I pulled a card for the bouquet. You are dependent, right, on these places, this theater company, this production company. You're waiting to hear good news about your projects. This young woman, the clarifiers are the book, the heart, and the fox. I think that I like the book here. Usually the book is about things we don't know, but in this case, the book is about one or more of your projects. Someone is going to love one or more of your projects. And this is like an expert, right? Somebody in one of those organizations who really loves and wants to champion your work. So that's good. Then we have this woman, and we have the house, the lily, and the child. I actually think something will get picked up. I'm not going to say everything will, but I think something will get picked up, and that the organization, the one of these two that looks at it, goes from feeling like this, which is, cold and impersonal and someplace you have to impress, to this, which is familiar and comfortable. And especially with the lily there, like, I think you'll be the new kid in their stable, the new writer in their stable. So yes, I think given all, despite all of the competition, or in the face of all the competition, I do think at least one of your projects will get picked up. So congratulations in advance. Okay. I'm trying to sort of shuffle them as I put them back, and then I'm just going to do a shuffle. Okay. Okay, this is Jalen 8264. Will I find a job that will pay my bills soon? I've sent out tons of resumes without having any luck, and it's been over a year. Okay. So I'm going to use the fox, and that will be a job. There's so many jobs that are being taken over by AI. It's part of why things are so difficult out there for people. Okay, so this is for a job. Okay, so here's you. We have the ship, the fox, the young man, and crossroads. What I'm feeling like is that you may have to look farther afield than you've looked, like be willing to relocate, for example, because I think this is farther afield than you've actually looked. And I think you need to, I don't know, this card. Okay, so we had this card as the first card. This card is the fourth card. This card is yin energy. This is yang energy. So, you've put in your applications and all that. Have you, if you've had interviews, have you written a thank you note? Have you followed up? Because you can't just stick the resume in and that's it. Do whatever the next step is in the field that you're looking at to make sure that they know how interested you are. So stay in touch with them. Now, Crossroads is an interesting card for me here because it could be that you need to look in a completely different field than you've been looking, or it means that you cobble together more than one part-time job to equal a whole job, because that could be what helps pay your bills. I mean, those kind of jobs, it's problematic if you're looking at things like, insurance, health insurance and things like that. But if you're just looking for straight cash, money, salary, you might have to cobble together more than one part-time job to equal the whole. And I think you should look farther afield than you've already looked. And I think you need to be really way more assertive than putting the resume in and then just sitting on your hands and waiting for them to call you. I don't know, what that means, what that looks like. Again, if you haven't gone to a headhunter, going to a headhunter might not be a bad thing. A job coaching place where they can place you, that might be a good way to go. Because again, AI is snatching up a lot of jobs. Okay. Okay, I'm not going to answer the next question, but let's see. Lupus Warrior, do you see my house selling before the end of the year? Okay, let's look. I'm going to use the house, and we'll see if it will sell by the end of the year. And then I will explain why I didn't answer the question before that. Oops. Okay, so this is the house that you're wanting to sell. We have birds, we have ring, we have house, we have sun, and we have anchor. So the short answer is yes, you will. You will. This is like this. The birds is the card for publicizing it, right? So like how it goes on a site, a real estate agent talks it up, shows people through it. This creates buzz about it. I think you'll get your asking price as well, because I can mirror this second card, which is like the contract, the sales contract, with the sun. I think you'll be very happy with what you get for it. The anchor here, I like. I think it feels solid. It feels protective, as opposed to sinking you down. I think it's very good. I think you're working with the right people. If you're selling it yourself, then you're doing a good job with the marketing piece of it. But I think it will sell by the end of the year. So the question that I didn't want to answer is, this is how it's phrased: Will I ever end up becoming a widow? I would never prognosticate about someone's demise. Except for who. And I do that one all the time. But I just think it's not appropriate for the cards. Okay. Hi from Australia. Oh, good. I'm glad this was a good time for you. I'm trying to figure out when to do the timing on my readings on Substack, so I will vary them. Sometimes they'll be at this time. Sometimes they'll be earlier in the day, which is easier for my European viewers. Okay. Australia. Can you look to see if we'll sell our house and move this year? Thank you. Okay. So I'm going to, I'm going to sort of fold the two questions into one. so that I'm going to look at a move, but the cards understand that it's with the intention that you will have sold the house. So I'm going to look for the ship, because you're not going to move unless you sell it. So, all right, let's look for the ship and see. Okay, interesting the way they put it. Okay, so we have the ring, the clouds, the ship, the coffin, and the house. So the ring, so this is like, a contract, both for selling and for buying. And apparently, you're asking me because where you are, and maybe the market is a tough one. So you're not sure. But I can mirror the clouds with the coffin. And I actually like that because it means the doubts around whether you'll be able to do this end. So that's good, right? And here's the house at the end. So yes, you sell, and then you buy. So yes, you will sell it by this year and move this year. Okay. All right, let me just do a bridge shuffle really quick. Okay. All right. CRK 9222. I'm being offered a new job during a reorganization at my job. Okay. I'm not so familiar with this new area of IT. Do you see me being successful in this role? Okay. So the place that you already work is reorganizing, and they haven't gotten rid of you or anything. They've offered you a different role. How will you do in that role? So let's look for the fox. It will be the new role. How will you do in that new role? Steepen the deck. So this stands for the new role that you're being offered. Okay. So I have clover, book, fox, fish, and tower. And then I pulled some more clarifiers, but let's talk about these first. So you probably have to decide quickly because the clover is a fast card, but also aren't you lucky that even despite the fact that there's this reorganization, they want to keep you. So this is a very good card. This is you saying, I don't know if I can handle that role. That's you. But, they've offered you the job. I think the money is good. And, this is the organization. I think they want to keep you. They want to have you. So I decided I'd pull some cards on the exact, job. And I got child, clouds, and ring. So it's like I said to the other viewer, there will be a learning curve. you'll get in there and you'll be like, what in the, mm. And you'll feel, you know, like the new kid, because you will be the kind of the new kid. And, you know, but again, that's like anything that you try that's new. You'll be confused, but then you'll get the hang of it. And then I decided I would pull on the actual place. And we have son, woman, and letter. I think they will be very happy that they offered you this new position. So I think you'll be fine. Just, you know, take some deep breaths and don't go faster than you need to, and take your time. And it's like me doing YouTube and figuring out how to upload the video. It took me about 10 tries to figure it out because, you know, I'm kind of old to this and this stuff is new, but I figured it out and now I could probably do it blindfolded. So just, you are definitely capable of handling this new job. Okay. Chris LaPierre. My daughter committed suicide last August. I really need to know why. Thank you. I'm sorry for your loss. That's hard to have someone die by suicide. I'm gonna, and this was last August. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the young woman card because again, she's your daughter, which means she's younger than you, whether she was young or not. And I'm gonna ask her, and I don't know if she'll be able to come through and tell us anything, but I'll see what I can do. This is called a mediumship reading, and we'll see what we can get. Okay. Okay, she pops right up as the second card. That means that she won't be the center card. She'll be the second card. So I'm putting her down and putting the card before her down, and then whatever would be the center card. Oh, okay. All right. So I have 5 cards, but I'm going to pull on the center card. Okay. So I have Crossroads. This is your daughter. The center card is the coffin. We have the garden and we have the cross. Okay. And I pulled clarifiers on the coffin and on the cross. So, I mean, nobody coerced her. It was a choice that she made. It was a conscious decision that she made. Here she is, the second card, coffin's in the middle. The garden, I just think the world was too much for her. I mean, and I suppose any number of people who die by suicide would say that, right? So I pulled clarifiers on the coffin, and I'm going to say that we have the ring, the clouds, and Clover. I will say that she got into a, we call it like a circular pattern of thinking, you know, an obsessive circular pattern of thinking that was confused ultimately. And she did what she did fast, right? So on the one hand, she wants you to know that this was a decision she made to leave the world, which was too much for her. But like a lot of people who die by suicide, it was a, you know, she decided in the moment. And I pulled on the cross, and she just wanted to get away from the pain that she was in. She felt, I mean, sometimes with the bear, bullied maybe, Um, and then the last card is blocked, is the mountain blocked. So what I want to say about that is that I can mirror it with the crossroads. So even though she's saying it was her choice, she also didn't feel like she had any other choice. And I think it was she was just in a mental state that told her she would be out of pain if she left the world. So in other words, it wasn't a middle finger to you or to anybody else. It wasn't a message to hurt anyone. It was just to not be in pain. And I think she is not in pain now. And I think she heard your question because otherwise that coffin card would not have come up right away like that, the way that it did. Ask her to come to you in a dream. The veil is, I call it non-existent. Some people like to call it thin. But ask her to come to you. Ask her to send you a sign, and it can be anything. Anything. I just think the world was too much for her. I'm really sorry about that. As a mom, I feel that. Okay. Teresa Shaw 5450. Does my special person feel the same way about me? I don't know if this is the person is male or female that you're asking about. I wish I did know. But instead of using them as a significator, I'm not going to use a significator. And I'm going to ask Spirit to show me what that person feels towards you. I think that's probably the best way. Okay. Well, these cards are really nice, gotta say. We have the Child, we have Crossroads, we have Woman, we have Sun, and we have Bouquet. So I'm going to say that I guess part of why you're asking the question is that this might be a fairly new relationship. You're calling them your special person, but which implies that you're looking at it from a very naive perspective, or it implies that it's a relatively new relationship. So they've gone from 0 to hero pretty fast. I'm just going to say. And Crossroads is about choices. And so this other person knows that there are a lot of fish in the sea and that they could make, infinite other choices as to whom to be with. But, we have Woman in the center, so I'm thinking that that's you. We have the Sun and the Bouquet. They really, really like you. And they think of you as a gift. So, I guess they like you too, the way you like them. I don't want to sound like Sally Field. Oh, you like me. You really like me. But they like you. They really like you. So that's nice. Aaron, I love you, Aaron, the hairstylist. Why do I love Aaron, the hairstylist? Because he always watches my videos and because I cut my own hair and he never says, ew, what a bad job. So I have a soft spot for Aaron. And Aaron is asking for a general reading, which I'm not a fan of those, especially for Lenormand, because Lenormand loves a question. So I said I was going to pull out the tarot, and I am going to pull out the tarot because it's you, Aaron. And what I'm going to do is I will pull a tarot card, and then I will clarify it with Lenormand. Okay. Well, Aaron, all right. To start off, it's great. We have this is the Starlight Tarot Gold Edition. To start out, we have what they call in tarot the wish card, the Nine of Cups. You can have whatever you want. So that's how we start out. But then, Aaron, we get the whip, the coffin, and the snake. Um, mm, I feel like it's saying, be careful what you ask for, because what you ask for is what you receive with this Nine of Cups. And yet, you may not be asking for the right thing. You know, this is the card for arguments. This is like, I don't know, like things ending or being depressed, and the snake is a problem. So I guess the message is that you need to maybe be more discerning in what you ask for from the universe, more discerning about what you seek. I think that's the advice. All right, Aaron. Okay, let's see. Put everything back. And let me just do a shuffle. Okay. Okay, Robin Witt, 5441. Are law licenses in the Department of Justice finally going to get pulled due to court meddling with the juries? Well, I mean, I feel like you need to be a little more specific. The courts are I'm not going to answer. The courts are doing what they can, but the felon is doing what he can, and Todd Blanche is doing what he can. So until there's a new sheriff in town, which is not going to be for a while, I think things are going to be status quo. So, okay, Amanda Sutton. Do the cards show that I would be skilled in Reiki to work part-time? So Reiki is, I'm a Reiki master teacher myself, so I love Reiki. I think it's beautiful. And the card for Reiki is the moon, because the moon is the card for all these esoteric arts, these, alternate healing modalities. So I'm going to use the moon for your part-time gig doing Reiki. Would it be, what is the question? Would you be skilled? Well, you'll be skilled if you get trained and then you do it. I think the question more is, will Reiki be a good fit for you, right? Will you enjoy doing it? Will you have clients? That kind of thing. So we're looking for the moon. I don't know how everything got upside down, but okay. Oh, here's the moon. Okay. Okay, garden, sun, moon, mountain, coffin. That was not anything I expected to see. So this is like, the public, and the sun is a great card. You want to help the public, and you want to be known for doing Reiki by the public. We have the moon in the center, but the last two cards are the mountain and the coffin. Your question was oddly phrased. Do the cards show that I could be skilled in Reiki? you're skilled in Reiki if you learn it, and if you get attuned, and if you practice. I mean, that's the, I mean, the cards are not, that's how it happens. So the fact that you're asking that makes me feel like you're maybe not quite ready for it, because this is not for all time. This just means maybe not right now, for you to jump professionally into it. I have done it for years, and did it for years without anybody paying me, just to help people. Part of the Reiki philosophy is that you are compensated, by the way. So, think about compensation. Think about what school of Reiki you want to go to. There's different schools of it. But it feels like right now is probably not the right time. So there you go. Okay, Elizabeth Muriel, I am not a doctor. So what are you asking me? The question is, I have difficulty with my vision in my left eye. What am I meant to answer on that? That's a doctor question, I think. Okay, Roberta Tracy, and then I'll do one more after that. Over the hill, but finally have what I consider to be a good novel written. What are the chances? Okay, so you're asking over the hill. I published my first book when I was in my late 80s. Late 80s, not yet. My late 60s. So there's no such thing really as being over the hill in something like writing. But you want to know whether your novel will be picked up by a publisher, I'm assuming, whether it will be a success. And I will just tell you, publishing is publishing is a very interesting industry. And what everybody who ends up being published learns is that if you have a hierarchy of people who bring a book into the world, the person who is the lowest on the totem pole is the writer. Know, for example, that unless you're already a best-selling author, you're going to end up getting 10 cents on the dollar. That's the return, your royalty return, 10 cents on the dollar. Nevertheless, it's wonderful to have a book out. And so I'm going to use the book. This time, the book will stand for your novel. And we just want to see how it will do. Okay. Okay, so Roberta, this stands for your novel. Okay, so we have garden, bear, your novel, the scythe, and the sun. I actually think that it will do well. This is the card for the public. And this is the card for, it's a financial card, but it's kind of a big financial card. So you could get picked up by a good publisher who gives you a better rate than 10 cents on the dollar. So that's really good. I think it will be picked up. Remember that the scythe cuts, but it has a curve in the blade, so it also reaps. So here it feels like the book will be picked up by a publisher, and the sun is at the end of the line. I love that because I can mirror it with the garden. I think people will love this novel, yes, and I think it will be successful. So congratulations in advance. That's very good news. Okay. And then I said I would do one more, and I will do one more. Again, I will do this again, but not till I have another, not till I hit 38,000 subscribers. I had 38, and then Substack pulled the rug out from under me. So maybe I'll do it again here when I get to 38,000. Otherwise, you'll have to go pay $5 a month to get it on Substack. Okay, Dion Marie voiceover 5143. You asked the question using the word should, and I always tell people to avoid that because you are the decider of your fate. But I can rephrase the question for you. And the question is, should I travel to Belize for a medical conference in October? A better way to phrase that so that Lenormand can ask it is, how would it be if I traveled to Belize for a medical conference in October? So we're going to use the ship, and that will be for this trip to Belize. How will it be? Deep in the deck. Okay, here we go. Okay, so this is the trip to Belize for the conference. Okay. I mean, it sounds great, right? A trip to Belize, but we have mice, man, ship, clouds, and child. I'm going to tell you, I don't think it's worth doing. I don't think it's worth doing. To have mice at the beginning of it, it just feels like you get not enough return on your investment. Whether your investment is time or money, or you're thinking you're going to make connections. I just I think your stuff, and I get why you would want to go. That this is a Yang card. You want to make connections. You want to learn stuff. You want to be a player. But I don't love these cards here, clouds and child. I don't know that. I feel like it might not be very well organized. Maybe. I think the weather might not be good. I don't know what the weather is like in Belize in October. I would think twice. I don't think it's going to give you quite the return on the investment that you hope it will. So, all right, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing. Tell people about the channel. When I see that 38,000 number, I will come back and do this again for you. In the meantime, if you are a paid subscriber to my Substack, I will be doing this again tomorrow over on Substack. So you can find me there. All right. Thank you so much. And I will see you here on YouTube again Monday. Have a great rest of your weekend.